welcome to all the living beings out there. Today, we are listening to the 5th episode of a very special podcast, Students of the World. In this particular podcast, we try to talk to students around the world and try to find out how they are coping in these unique times. Having said that, let's roll over to a very special guest, student of the world, Hadeel from Israel. She is a PhD student in the University of Haifa, if I'm right, Hadeel. And she loves baking and reading books on mental well-being. Now, that's very motivating. So welcome, Hadeel, to the show. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for asking me to do this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, the pleasure is all mine. So let's roll over straight up to the question. So my first question to you, Hadeel, is, what were the biggest challenges for you in the year 2020 as a student, and how did you overcome those?
So in the year 2020, I'm actually not a PhD yet. I'm applying now for a PhD. But in the year 2020, I was at the end of my master's degree at the University of Haifa. And I think regardless of the COVID-19 virus, I was super stressful about finishing the master's degree because you have to wonder what to do next. And because I really want to do my PhD abroad, so I have like endless options. So I was very stressed about that. And add to that the stress and the loneliness that came along with the COVID-19, which is at the beginning as an introvert, I thought it will be good for me to stay alone by myself at home. But then I think 2 months into the pandemic and the lockdown, I really started understanding the effect of being lonely, being alone all the time, and not having social contact, any contact whatsoever. So I started really being depressed. I had a very low motivation to do anything, and I didn't understand why at the beginning. So this is the year also where I started going to therapy, which really helped me deal through these difficulties and challenges. So mainly, these were the challenges that I had in 2020.
I think, Hadeel, you're brave enough to talk about the issues you went through, because I think 70 to 80% of the people, whether they are children or, the adolescents or teenagers, or maybe people above 30, 35, they don't want to talk about what they're going through. So the first step is to acknowledge it, which you did beautifully, and then you try to work around it. And I think loneliness has become such a disease. And even I went through that. It's not easy. Like, I'm talking about pre-COVID times. So it's not easy. So you are around so many people, you are working so hard, you're going to your labs, you're working, but when you come back, you feel lonely. And I think this problem of being lonely is just not a collateral damage of pandemic, but I think this is something which is being so much imbibed, specifically in our generation. And you can look into different cities and in different countries, and the problem is same. So I really appreciate that you have talked about such a sensitive issue where people don't want to talk about. They're not brave enough to say that, yes, I'm feeling lonely, or yes, I'm feeling some kind of anxiety or some kind of depression or stress. People don't want to talk about it. So I'm really thankful to you that you're talking about it, because there will be some student, I'm pretty sure, that will be listening to you and will resonate that, okay, Hadeel said this and I'm feeling the same. Yeah. But I can see that she's fine and she's on the show and she's brave enough to pull things together. And that's the thing about it, that we cannot solve it 100%, but at least we can try to work towards it. So thank you so much, Hadeel, for this.
Thank you. Thank you for the notes.
Yes. Let's come to the second question, Hadeel. So my second question to you is, did 2020 help you realize the relevance of our mental and physical well-being? Kindly share a story with us.
Yeah, so before 2020, I thought I paid close attention to my mental health and physical health. But when the year came and I really had the time to be alone, think about what I really need, what's really good for my body and also my mental health. So this is when I realized that I neglected myself for so long, because you're so into working and finishing projects, and specifically in academia, there's always something to do. There's always, you're always busy. So I really, when I took the time to be alone by myself, and of course we had this period where we didn't have any progress in the projects we were doing in academia because we didn't know how. It was all new to us, how we're going to run participants, how we're going to recruit participants. So I really was alone by myself, and this is where I started asking the questions of what I really need, what I really want. And starting doing some physical exercises, some yoga, which is something that I never thought I would do. Yeah, and also starting going to therapy in 2020, which really helped me. And when I started going to therapy, I realized how much I needed it and how much it was necessary for me. Yeah. So I think really like that, like you say, you can't feel the worth of something until you lose it. And we didn't actually, I couldn't actually feel what I really need because of all the stress. And when the stress was gone, I was available for myself. And it's really taught me to pay close attention to what I really need and to just take a breath and listen to ourselves and our needs. Yeah, specifically in academia, because it's like it's like a roller coaster. It's like a war. It feels so overwhelming all the time in academia.
Yeah, I can.
I'm sure you know this.
Yeah, I can totally imagine what you're saying, because I mean, pre-COVID times, while I was a PhD student, I think the collateral damage is your backbone, which goes away. You get one or the other problem because the sitting hours are like more than 12 hours sitting and reading and writing and doing a lot of research. And other than that, the kind of anxiety you build up in yourself. And I saw myself like getting into so many physical stress, not the mental, but this physical stress coming up because of those, the mental stresses I had. And I had to go to different doctors to get my body checked that, okay, maybe your neural system is okay, or maybe your nerves are okay. And I was like, why this is happening? And then I later realized that, as you mentioned, that physical health is very important. And I started taking care of that after a longer time. And I think pandemic is so tough for students. So I think it is tougher for you than what I had. And it's tougher to even transit, just to become a graduate, you become a master's student, then you have to get into PhD as you're in right now. This is tougher for you than what we went through. And for all the students around the world, I think the transient mode is much more harder at this time. And it is difficult to if you are in that particular course for another 2 years, it's okay. But if you are like just starting a job or, hopping from one kind of, segment to another kind of segment in your academia itself, this is tough. This is not easy. Just how the market is playing, plus how our emotions are playing and everything, if you take into account. And I really want to mention what Hadeel said, that you have to listen to yourself, you have to listen to your body and to your emotions. And it's difficult. It's not easy because you don't understand that what's happening to me, as Hadeel just told us, that she was not able to understand that. And I think this happens with everyone. It's happening with me as well at present. It's not that my doctorate had changed anything. And I totally believe that maybe in the coming, like when I will be like maybe 60 or something, I will have different kind of issues and I will be feeling the same kind of stress. So it's not that what the problem is, but how you're coping with that. And that's what Hadeel did beautifully. She started understanding that how physical and mental well-being are totally connected. And that's what I always say, that it's not like two different sets, they're subsets intermingled together. And they have so many commonalities, which we need to understand. And how your mental stress can impact your acidity, it can impact your stomach, it can impact your immune system, and you don't even realize it for months to come. And by the time you realize, it's too late. And so it's important to listen to yourself and give time to heal to yourself and just cut some slack. So great job, Hadeel. I think this is a must what you're talking right now. And these are the pain points. These are the points which students may not like to share and talk about, but once they listen to you, they might start working on it. You know, going for a walk, talking to a therapist maybe, or even realizing what you're feeling. That's the first step, you know, the acknowledgement.
True.
So great.
True.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I really want to share also what you said about the relationship between the physical and mental health. For me specifically, I really had a lot of heart problems. I was having a lot of panic attacks, and my heart was working like extra for no reason, for no obvious reason. I had no physical reason whatsoever. And like you said, I had also problems in the digestion system and the stomach. And like you said, we couldn't even understand why this is happening. But once I started to take care of my mental health and physical health, I really saw the big influence of mental health on physical health, which is amazing. It's really amazing.
Yes. You're such a beautiful soul, Hadeel. You're like, I would like to share with my listeners that I have been talking to Hadeel from past 1.5 years. We have never met. I'm in Ithaca, United States. She's in Israel, but then we were talking about a common project. And whenever I looked at you, I was like, she's such a smart girl, you know, such a beautiful, vibrant girl. And then listening to you right now, it kind of breaks my heart that you went through this much. But then I can resonate with you, you know, because there have been times when I had panic attacks, when you're breathless and you feel like you're dying or something like that. Because when you actually have it, there are people who say, oh, I'm anxious. And then there are people who don't say anything. The body says it. And that's very dangerous. But then I hope you are healthier now. And I hope you are stronger now. And I'm pretty sure you will overcome all the problems. You know, I think any matter in the world, it's for students and as well as for Hadeel, as well as for me, any reason which is making us anxious or making us stressful is not big enough than our own life, than our heartbeat. That's the most important thing. I mean, you can just cut all the people down, maybe your partners, maybe any family member or family issue or any professional issue, just cut it out. Just be yourself, just feel healthy so you can jump back to the situation and can handle it later on. But if you're feeling like that, just cut all those things from your life for some time and give a break to yourself. You are not responsible for everything what is happening around you. Even if it's your profession, even if it's your personal life, you are just not responsible. You need to wait, you need to relax and then take hold of the things and then take the onus. So that's what I want to tell you. And this is very heart to heart, Hadeel. Like, I can't stop talking about it, but I totally feel you, what you're feeling. So I hope you get healthier and stronger, and 2021 brings you loads and loads of happiness. You know, I think happiness and peace is something which we need right now more than success.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So let me roll over to my third question, Hadeel. What is your hope from the future as a student?
As a student. So I think that maybe the first answer that pops into my mind is success, which is something that it's not about achievements. It's not only about achievements. I really want to contribute to the research community, to the academia. I really want my research to affect people's life. But beyond that, my hope for the future, for me and for everyone, is to make mental health and physical health the first priority. Because for me, nothing is worth it. Really, nothing is worth it when someone is down, when he's in a rock bottom, and when he's not taking care of the mental health. And I've been, I have multiple achievements that I can talk about, but they all came from suffering, I think, because I got to that point in my life, those achievements, while I was super depressed and stressed. And for me, it was not worth it. I couldn't actually feel the happiness of achievement. I couldn't feel it when I was down. So for me, first thing, go for what you really want, achieve your dreams, but prioritize mental health. It's the most important thing. Yeah.
Oh my God, Hadeel, the moment you said that, that all those achievements were worthless while you were at your top, but feeling depressed, you know what? I have felt the same. I mean, I've talked to so many people, but I don't know, I have to say this on my podcast that I went through the same thing. And I was at my top position. Like this is it, you know?
The dream.
Yeah, this is what you want, and you are having it and you're living it. But there's something still which is missing out from your soul, you know, not from your mind, but from your soul, and you're not able to pick those puzzle boxes back to the place that what's missing. And for me also, it took a while to understand that. And after a time, I was like, yes, you know, what you said right now, the mantra, you know, more than success, I need peace. More than success, I need happiness. And it's not lying in somebody. It's not lying in any kind of success. It's not lying in how many paper I publish or where I am. But it's something which I feel within, and I cannot define it. You know? So this is something, I mean, I'm not able to express myself. I think it's more like you are the host and I am your
guest. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah,
I know it's not easy to share, so thank you so much for sharing this.
It's actually, it's not easy. And there were like intervals when I felt it, but the worst part was I felt it when I was at like my prime, and I had a profession. I was like, okay, why I'm feeling this now? And then you have no reason to hustle also, because you're just there. And then you cannot even work over there. You cannot sustain that position because you're feeling a lot of depression and anxiety.
Exactly.
Yes. So I know how it feels like when you're depressed, like when you literally feel your heart is going into your stomach, like it's just deeping down.
Exactly.
And you're getting numb and you're getting breathless and you don't know even how to act. And I'm a very social person, but there are times when I don't want to meet people at all. And I think it happens with many extroverts who went through depressions and anxieties, that there are times when they're like, I don't want to talk. Like, your emails are coming and you know you have to answer them, but you're not answering them.
Yeah,
and, you know,
exactly.
That's wrong. But your mind is not letting you do that. And that's very tough.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Hadeel, for sharing all of your experiences. I mean, this is something which I think all the students should listen and try to resonate with. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, so let me roll over to my fourth question. That is, what is your message to the students around the world?
I think for me, there's no right way to do anything, because for me, I was in a period in my life where I needed to talk to my supervisor, my parents, my friends, to tell me what's right for me. And I didn't listen to myself for a long time. And I started being really happy and satisfied when I started asking, what do I want? What do I need? So just like you said before, listen to your needs, listen to what your mind needs in the moment and act accordingly. Because we do have this, need to always get approval from someone else, for someone else to tell us what's really good for us. And we know what's really good for us. And also don't rush anything, because I understand the need for high achievements in academia, especially where the competition is super great. I'm sure you know it by now. But really don't rush anything. Do everything at your own pace. And most importantly, talk to someone. Don't keep to yourself, because from experience, when I was alone with my own thoughts, it was very overwhelming for me. So I didn't know how to manage and handle my thoughts. And when I talk to someone, my therapist, my friends, my family, and I put everything on the table, like they say, everything became less frightening, less overwhelming. And it's very important to understand that you're not alone. Whatever you're feeling, you're not alone. And please talk to someone. I know like suicidal rates are high, specifically in this time this period. And just know that you're not alone. I'm sure that will be hope, but you need to talk to someone. You need to find your support system and do everything at your own pace. And just put mental health in the first priority. So this is my maybe number one tip that I wish someone has told me, that I wish there was a podcast like that a couple of years back.
Yeah. I'm so much in sync with you that keep your priorities right. You should know what you want. And the way you have laid out your experience and the way you have coped with that is very enigmatic, and it's very beautiful. And even for me, I mean, the moment you're talking about it, I'm getting a lot many goosebumps, and I can feel it, because even there were times when I went through the same thing, and I'm pretty sure that 99% of the people around the world, they go through the stress. So it's very common, but the problem is that the impact they lay out, it's very long term, and it's very dangerous, and we don't realize it, because stress is something which we don't see on our body, right? Exactly. So it's a wound which you can see and heal. It's something which you don't see it, and it's a very deep cut wound, and it'll take time to heal. So it's important that we focus and give some attention to that. So I hope all the listeners, especially the students, will try to understand that they are not alone in this battle or war, whatever they are considering it. And we all are together. Maybe we are fighting our own battles in our homes, but if you look in a very larger perspective, we all are doing that. And I think that will give some strength that, okay, we are not alone. Everybody's trying to, hustle up, work it out. And as you mentioned about the suicidal rates, of course, they have increased to a very panicky level. And it's so difficult to understand that. I have been working on emotions from past 6 to 7 years, and I still don't understand emotions if you talk about myself. And that's the, what you can say, I should say a sarcastic remark as a researcher I should give to myself. And the God has given this emotion as such a complex tool or an attribute to us that we just cannot handle it. And we have to just try to sink in that. And I would also like to share that, Hadeel, with you. So I did this post on LinkedIn, and I was asking, like, in the midst of pandemic, what do you think is most important for you? Like being financially strong, no family, or financially not being financially strong, having a big family, or peace, or everything in moderation. And trust me, most of the people were talking about peace. They had gone through so much, like even if they're alone or with the family, they want peace. Now, the peace is such a complex thing that it comes from what? It's again subjective. It can come from family, it can come from something else, but there were people who were talking about, like, we want everything in moderation. So nobody was talking about that I want to be super duper successful in my life, and that's it. So I think the definition of success and happiness is changing. And being in the lockdowns, I think we have started living a very humble life. We don't need to lot of stuff. We don't need amazing jazzy phones all the time. We just need peaceful life. And I think that's what our grandmother used to say, Hadeel. If you ever had any conversation with older people, like, you know, that, oh, it's all about peace. And that time I was like, no, I want to do this.
Oh, yeah.
I have this dream, you know, that Hollywood movie dream kind of thing, you know.
Exactly.
And then I'm like, back to square one. Okay, you know, the peace is very important. Some strong relationships in your life are important. And generosity is important. And those are things, I think, which are being taught by our older generation. And we should be thankful to them that at least they tried talking to us. And that
they tried.
They tried, but we not. So yes, and
yeah,
as Hadeel said, that physical and mental well-being are very important. Even I'll stress on that, what Hadeel said right now. And when I did my TEDx, and at that time I was talking about this, which was pre-pandemic, and I never realized that it will become such an important topic because people were suffering from these kind of things even before, but the rate has accelerated at such a high pace, and it's so difficult right now. So it's just not the people getting COVID, but the collateral damage to it is having these mental issues which people are not able to understand. So I am totally in sync, and I totally respect the way you have taken this interview to another level of conveying and stressing that how important it is to have the right mental balance. And for that, you have to work on yourself. Otherwise, things can go haywire. So thank you so much, Hadeel.
Thank you so much, because you were the one who gave me and others the opportunity to share this. And thank you so much for raising such important topics, because like you said, at least I grew up with an idea that, you know, to become a doctor or to become a huge researcher, you have to be super focused. You don't have any time for your mental health, your physical health, and you have to work hard, like, you know, 24/7. And no one really talked about mental health stuff, like you said. But, you know, I thought that people were gathering up to talk about research and books to read and all the stuff like that, and people were doing that. So thank you so much for being part of maybe a movement to really start talking about topics like mental health, which is super important.
No, Hadeel, I'm honored to share your experience to the students of the world, that how one is coping and how they are strategizing the things around themselves. So I'm really honored. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
So here we end our podcast on a beautiful note of taking care of our mental well-being, and that we are not alone. We all are together. Hadeel is working like a strong woman, and she has tried to cope up with things, and I'm proud of her. And I hope we learn one or the other thing from her to be stronger in these difficult times. So thank you so much, Hadeel.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.